the real reasons why you haven't started your own business yet. I've wanted to make this video for a little while, as I know there are a large number of people that are subscribed to this channel that dream of one day starting their own business, yet they still to take the plunge, and they are very good at making excuses. So this video, I've called it Stop Lying to Yourself. And I know that sounds quite confrontational and rude, but my intentions are good. My goal is to help you identify what obstacles are holding you back so that you can overcome them and hopefully realize your dream of starting your own business. So I've got a number of potential reasons to go through that may have been holding you back in the past or are holding you back now. And if I talk them through with you and maybe offer some suggestions, hopefully it will help you overcome that hurdle or hurdles if there's multiple reasons, and you can start moving forward with your own business. So number one, this is the biggest lie I hear all the time, and people use this because it's such a simple lie and no one ever challenges it. And that is when people say, I don't have enough time to start my own business. Well, lots of businesses can be started in your spare time, and there are very, very few people watching this video who don't have enough time to start a business. The fact that you're watching this video tells me you have enough time to start your own business. There may be a tiny number of people out there who generally don't have enough time. Maybe they've got multiple jobs or they've got childcare commitments, whatever it is. There's going to be a small number of people who generally don't have enough time. But for the majority, they do have enough time. You don't need to be up to date on the latest Netflix series or completed the latest PS5 game or spending all evening pointlessly scrolling through TikTok or Twitter or whatever it is. People who say they don't have enough time just haven't organized that time. So think about your time throughout the day. Put your job to one side. What are you doing after work? What are you doing after dinner? What are you doing before bed? There's always time available. If you can sneak maybe 30 minutes a day or an hour a day, that is enough to build the foundations for a business. The next one is not enough money. And this isn't a lie. This is a genuine concern. And it's something you do need to pay attention to depending on the type of business you're looking to start. There's two solutions to this. If you're looking to start a business that does require money, then you need to save more and look at ways that you can raise funds. But really, the simplest option is to look at business models that don't require huge funds. So avoid business models that require lots of employees or purchasing of lots of inventory or machinery. So one of the businesses that I started after I left uni was a web design business. All I needed was a computer and a phone, and I was able to start a business. And there's lots of other opportunities out there. There are more opportunities than ever for someone to start their own business without needing a lot of money up front. You can go into dropshipping, you can go into affiliate marketing. There are lots of different things to consider. And I'm not recommending any of those, by the way. This isn't about me recommending in what business you should be starting. It's about making you aware that if your excuse to not starting your own business is not enough money, there are potential solutions that don't involve having to have lots of money. Number three is lack of support. And sadly, I've seen this a number of times over the years, especially with people that are close to me and friends of mine, is that they've aspired to want to start their own business, and they've either had lack of support from their parents, depending on what age they are, if they're still living at home, or even maybe their wife or husband or partner. And without that support, it's really, really hard to take the risk of starting your own business. So if you're not getting enough support from your parents, that's something you're just going to have to ignore. If you're not getting support from your partner, your wife, or your husband, maybe that's something you need to discuss in a bit more detail, as if they're not going to support you achieving certain life dreams you've got, then you have to question whether that person's the right person for you. But I don't want this video to be some sort of relationship advice video. But if lack of support is a problem, think about how you can get the right support. And that leads on to the next point I've got here, which is seeking opinions or validation from unqualified people. So most people that decide they want to start a business, they'll go and ask their parents or their partner or their friends what they think of actually, one, starting a business, and two, the business idea they've got. Now, unfortunately, that is a terrible idea, as really you're not seeking their opinion, you're just seeking their validation. You want them to say, yeah, that's a great idea, go for it. So that if you do go for it and you do fail, you can kind of say, people are on board with this. You should only seek opinions and validations from qualified people. So to give you an example, my core business is I'm an Amazon seller and I teach other people how to do it. And I'm not trying to promote that service at all. But people come to me for Amazon mentorship when they're starting their Amazon businesses. So people pay me for my qualified advice because I'm an expert in that field. If you're starting an Amazon business, don't go and ask your friend or your mum or dad or your partner or your wife what they think of starting an Amazon business. They have no idea. So many people that want validation seek it from the wrong people. They seek opinions from the wrong people. Seek it from the expert. Find experts in either starting business or the actual field that you're looking to go into, because this kills so many business ideas when your partner or your mum and dad turn around and say, do you know what, I don't think you should do that. And then that beats your confidence down. So speak to qualified people who actually know what they are talking about. Number 5, I've put comfort and commitments together because they generally go hand in hand. Someone will leave university or leave college or leave school. They'll maybe start getting financial commitments. So maybe they'll buy a car with a monthly cost, or maybe they'll get their first house, either buying a house or a rental. And before you know it, they've got a number of outgoing commitments, but they're generally quite comfortable in their life. You know, maybe they're happy working 5 days a week and they get to maybe get a takeaway on a Saturday night. They've got this base level of comfort that although they aspire for more, they never want to risk it. And this comfort level stops people from actually taking that risk. And in my experience, it's actually in the moments of adversity that people do their best work. So if someone said to me that all of my current business setup was gone tomorrow and everything I do now is gone, I would feel confident in 12 months' time I'd be making more money than I am today, purely because I'd get so much more motivation and drive back, and that comfort level would be gone. So if you're in a job, you know, and you're earning 30K a year, imagine if you didn't have that job, how driven you would be. Now, I'm not saying go and quit your job and start a business, but I'm saying don't let that comfort hold you back. Start the business, start building that secondary income and get to the point where you can give up your current job and then you can focus on growing the business. But don't let comfort get in the way of seeking a better life by starting your own business. Number 6, which follows on from number 4 really, which is seeking opinions from unqualified people, is lack of experience. Now, there are going to be certain businesses that you can't start without any experience, and that's just unfortunately the way it is. So for example, something I've always thought about doing, I thought about starting a therapy business. I think I could genuinely help people, but I don't have enough first-hand experience of doing that to be able to start a business and selling it as a service. So if I was ever going to do it, I know I would need to go and get qualifications and real-world experience of actually practicing therapy. But my Amazon business, for example, it wasn't really possible to get experience being an Amazon seller. I just liked the business model and was like, I'm going to give this a go. So if you don't have certain experience in a business that interests you, go and get the experience, go and get the qualification, or look at business models where you don't need a huge amount of experience and you can learn on the fly. With places like YouTube, you can learn pretty much everything you need about almost any business in the world, and you can learn on the fly. So put faith in yourself that you can invest time in yourself. Going back to point 1, not have enough time, put the time in to learn and understand the field that you're going to go into, and then you'll have a great chance of success. Number 7, insurmountable expectations. What do I mean by this? A lot of people have this massive gulf between where they are and where they think they need to be if they start a business. So they might be making 30, 40, 50K a year in their job, and they think if I start a business, I need to make £1 million per year. And that gulf between the two is so big, it's so vast that they never take the plunge. They never actually think I can get there. Whereas if you thought about it a slightly different way, think of it as a stepping stone. Yes, maybe one day you will get to £1 million, but if you start thinking, right, initially I just want to make maybe £1,000 per month to top up my current income, and maybe after a year or two, you're making enough to replace your current income, and then before you know it, you've built a business that you can then scale towards those goals that currently seem insurmountable. And also along the topic of being insurmountable is when people are coming up with a business idea, they think they have to reinvent the wheel. So when I had my web design business, I would have people come to me all the time with completely brand new ideas that would have cost, £50,000 to £100,000 to get up and running. And there was no proof of concept, there was no proof of existing demand for this. Whereas often the most successful businesses are just taking an existing solution and making it that little bit better. So an existing product or an existing service, and putting a tweak to it, putting a twist in it, offering your own unique selling point on that. So don't think you have to completely reinvent the wheel and come up with this brand new. You don't have to invent the next Facebook. You really don't have to do that. There are people out there making millions of pounds, or hundreds of thousands, or tens of thousands from the most basic business models that have been in existence for decades. And all you need to do is take one of those, put a twist on it, and you could potentially have your own business. Number 8, so one to go after this. Number 8, this is something that I've had to recognize as well, and it's something I do recognize with this video, is not everyone's cut out to be a business owner. So if you've watched this video and none of this is really connected to you, or you still don't feel the drive to want to do it, that's absolutely fine. This video isn't about beating up people who don't want to be business owners. If you are watching this video and you think, actually, I don't want to be a business owner, that's absolutely fine. What my advice would be to you is, stop thinking about starting your own business. Stop beating yourself up. Stop putting yourself in a position where you think you're underachieving. If you're happy being an employee and making your money that way, and you've decided you don't want to start a business, that's absolutely fine. Own that and accept who you are, because not everyone's cut out to be a business owner, and I certainly wouldn't recommend it for everyone as well. Now, this final point, this is probably one of the biggest reasons, or a combination of reasons, why people don't ever start their own business, and that is the self-doubt they have, the fear of failure that they have, and going back to point 4, which is a seeking validation, what will others think? And this is such a big point. I've actually recorded a completely separate video about this. So if you suffer from self-doubt or fear of failure, of what will other people think of you, I'm going to pop up that video now, and I'll see you guys over there.